Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is YAHMAD. So in this video, we're going to be looking at paper 2 from the Information Technology course. We're looking at May-June 2019, and paper 2 can either focus heavily on either spreadsheets or databases. So this is the second part of this video. This paper was focusing on databases, and we've already started a question on page 4. So what we had to do in the first task was we had to look at these two files, and then we had to merge the two files, okay, from question 15. There were some issues that we had to evaluate, and if you check out the first part of the video, you can see what we talked about. And what I've done is I've just put all the files into separate worksheets in an Excel document. Eventually, I'll save them as CSV files and import them into my database. So this was the two files that we had to merge, and the files contain information about employees and the different venues that they work at. And then these two tables have been created, or one was created from this question here. So each venue that each employee works at will have a type code, so of a H for hotel, R for restaurant, and S for ski school. Initially, this information here was being duplicated here every time. So for example, here it's all S, okay? So it would have shown ski school being duplicated. So we removed that column. And now what we can do is we can eventually make a relationship in database software, which will link this primary key to this foreign key. So these two tables, they pretty much normalized. This only contains data about the venue type, and this only contains data about job descriptions. However, what we need to do now is we need to normalize the rest of the information to create a relational database to the third normal form. Okay, so let's have a look at this first table here. So you can see we can split this data into two separate tables since we have some information about employees, okay, and where they work, okay, and we also have information about the different venues, and you can see we have a duplication of data here, which when we normalize the data, we can get rid of this duplication. So what I'm going to do is create a couple of tables. One is going to be for the employees, and one is going to be for the venue name. Let's start off with the employees data first. So we need the forename, the surname, the job code, and where they work. Copy. Just put that into here. That's fine for now. And for the venues now, let's copy this information. So the name, address 1, address 2, and the type of venue. So it's them three options. So basically, is it hotel, restaurant, or ski school? So let's copy this information into here. Okay, now what we need to do is remove the duplication. So you can see we only want this record to appear once. So what we can do is just highlight all of the information. Click on here, remove duplicates. My data has headings. And we're left with 25 records. Okay. What I'm going to do now, guys, is I need to include a primary key for each venue, okay, which will then link to the venue code. So you can see some of these venue codes are missing. So I don't know if that's a mistake for the files. I don't know, but I'm going to improvise anyway. So the venue code was incomplete. So this needs to be linked to this table here. And how we're going to do that, we're going to create a code for each venue. Okay, I'm just going to create a new field here. Venue name or venue code. And I'm going to use a lookup in a moment to get the codes from here into here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and start that. Venue codes, this 25 records. So what I'm going to do is just type in some letters, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Maybe it's a quick way of doing this. H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, what I'm going to do now, guys, is let's come to the main table because I didn't have this. Yeah, so for the employees table, we just have the employees data. But if we go back to the main table, what I'm going to do is do a quick VLOOKUP to get the venue code. So equals VLOOKUP. I'm going to look up the venue name, which should be it should be unique for each value. So each venue has a different name, comma. The table array is going to be venue name. So we're going to highlight from the venue name, go to venue code. Let's lock this, comma. We want to output the codes. So 2, exact match, close the bracket, job done. So A should be Skish School, if I'm saying it right. Let me just drag that down. So you can see all of these are A's. And let's go to the next one. So we get to here, active of hotel. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. Is the next one. And let's check to see. Hotel de Bar. Yeah, that looks like it's working. So now what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to just copy this here and put this into my employee data. Oh, do you know what I'm going to do? Let's just copy this back as values. Okay, so it's not relying on anything else now. And then copy this into my employees table here. So now what we have is the foreign key, which now links to this primary key. If you want, guys, you can just move this now to the front, because normally I like to have the primary keys as the first field. Right, I think we might be done. I'm just thinking if there's anything else I need to do. Yeah, so this table here now needs a primary key as well. So each employee needs to have a primary key. Employee ID. And I'm just going to give him a number. Do you know what? You can make yours whatever you want. I'm just going to give him a different number. Okay, done. Okay, so why did I initially put all of the data into a workbook? This was the combined file, which is then being split. The venue type and job description, that was fairly straightforward. This one I just copy and pasted from the other sheet I opened up for from this question. This one here. This table obviously was created from that question. And these two tables have been now normalized and split from this information here. So let's have a look and see how we're going to be creating these relationships. So we're not going to be using this primary key, but the venue or the job code here will be a foreign key, which is going to link to this table here. So I'm going to just color this in green. It's going to link to that. Okay, I should have just done that actually. So you don't need to do the color. I'm just showing you how we're going to link the tables together. So this table here is going to be linked to this field here. The venue name, let me just change that to like a purple color, is now going to be linked to this field. Okay, so these letters here will link to this table to give us the venue, okay, which is now appearing once. And a venue type, let me just color that in like blue, it's going to link to this table here. Okay, so you can see the links that we're going to have the job code, The code appears here once. It's going to be linked to this table here. Okay, so these are the different job descriptions. There could be quite a few people, employees, working in a restaurant or working as a host or whatever. But what we didn't want was this data being duplicated every time someone was a particular type of worker. So I hope, guys, that makes sense. What I'm going to do now is I think it's time to separate all of these files. So save this file into comma separated value format with the file name employees followed by your candidate number. So do you know what? I'll use 999 for now as well. So each of these files, what I'm going to do now is just save it as a separate CSV, and it'll be ready for importing in a moment. So let me just create a new file. Come to here. Let's get this data here. Copy. Go to my new file. Let's save this as a CSV file. Here we go. We're just going to call it employees. And I'll just use the same number that they gave for now. Obviously, guys, you'd put in your own candidate number at this point. Save. Remember, all of your files would be uploaded, so they'll be checking all of your files. You can close that now. That's done. I'm going to close that down. Let's make a new one for venue name. Save as. CSV. I'm just going to put 999. We can close this down. And venue type. CSV. And the last one is going to be job description. I want to check one thing. Okay. Nearly done, guys. I think we're ready to import in a second. Job description. Done. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create my database, and we have to save it in this format here. So I'm just going to use the same center name and candidate details as shown. So the center number needs to be in the middle and candidate number at the end. So what I'm going to do is just go to my folder. Yeah, you can see the new 4 files. Make sure you save everything into the same folder. Okay, and we're now ready to make the relationship. So let's do that. So let's open up Access. Okay, and hopefully this point now should be straightforward. We've already identified the key fields, the primary keys, and foreign keys that are going to be used as part of this relationship. So let's go to external data, new data source from file, text file, since it's all CSV files. Start off with the employee table. Okay, next. First row contains field names. Next. I can choose my own primary key, so the employee ID. Next, and finish. Okay, let's do the next one. Jobs. First row contains field names. Next. I can choose my own primary key, so the job code. Next, finish. And let's keep going. Browse, venue name. First row contains fields. Next. We can choose our own primary key, so the venue code. Next, finish. Browse, venue type. First row contains fields. This is the primary key, the venue type code. Next, and finish. Let's just finish with the relationship task now. So we go to database tools, relationships, and we can add all of the tables. So what I'm going to do is just put the employees table in the middle. So this job description is going to be linked to job code here. Create the relationship. And the venue code is going to be linked to venue code here. We can create the relationship. And the venue type code is going to be linked to this. Let me start that again. This primary key is going to be linked to this. So just let me explain each link just before we move on. So if we go to the employees table, I'll show you from here. This job code has been linked to this field here. Okay, so that's the first one. Okay. If I go back to the employees table, this venue code here, so A has been linked to this field here. So each venue has a letter, A, B, C, D, up to Y. Okay, and then the final relationship is the type code, which links to this table here. So this code here links to this code here. And by doing all of this, we're basically removing any duplicate data. Let's close that down. Go to employees table or job description. So you can see we have different job descriptions. If I click on the plus, we should see all of the employees that work at that job. Okay. Don't get confused with venue code. So this is all of the employees that are administration. Okay. This is the place that they work. So if we go to venue name, yeah, so these are all of the employees that work at this particular venue. Right, guys, I think we'll stop here. Please join me in the next video where we continue this database section. So I think this was the trickiest part of this paper. So if you look, there's 42 marks available. And just before I go, I put all of my files into different worksheets. I think it was quite easy just to identify the relationships by doing this. And then later I just copied them into separate CSV files and then imported it into my database file. So if this is a technique that works for you, you can use it. It's up to you guys. So in the next video, what we're going to be doing is starting with or looking at question 18, yeah, and 19 as well. So that's for the next video. Please drop your comments below. It's always good to receive your feedback, and I'll see you guys in part 3. Thank you. Bye-bye.